was refreshing. And we're back with episode 18.
Yay.
Yay. Yay. Yay. Your levels down?
No, it sounds fine. It just looked weird because it looked like that one wasn't plugged all the way in, but apparently it is.
Yeah, it's got like a little longer nibble knob.
Yeah.
A little longer pecker than the other one.
It doesn't feel inadequate, but
Mine's very inadequate.
I've seen it. It happens. It's
Microphone cum shot. It's cool.
Cool. Yep. Everyone deals with it.
Got my Steven Seagal glasses. I taught John Jones how to throw a front kick, and Machida how to throw a front kick.
Over by Anderson
Silva how to throw a front kick.
He's the only guy who knows how to do a front kick. Apparently,
talk in a whisper.
You kick, forward towards your front.
You guys don't know I'm a cop in Louisiana. I wear leather jackets and prayer beads.
Is he a real cop, or is he like a volunteer sheriff?
I never really got clarification on that. I don't know. I want to say he was a volunteer, but I don't think he's a volunteer at the same time. I remember watching the show. He was actually like a decent ranking member of the police force. Because he works there like most of the time. Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, if my memory serves me correct. But I don't know. He might be a volunteer sheriff. It was this show, Steven Seagal Lawman. Very
Is it still going on?
No, I watched every episode when it was going on, though. Because you know me, I'm a fucking Steven Seagal fan. I don't care what anybody says.
That's true.
I do think he's absolutely ridiculous now.
You mean
but I like
ever
the movies.
since he, started slowly turning to Jabba the Hutt? Or possibly he's not Steven Seagal, but ate Steven Seagal in most of his powers and some of his looks?
Yeah, but there's a story, I don't know if you heard, that on the set of a movie, Gene LaBelle, one of Ronda Rousey's coaches, choked him out and he pooped his pants.
Pissed his pants.
Whatever. In my story, I tell people he pooped his pants. Juicens it up a little bit.
It is more humiliating, I'll admit that.
Absolutely. At least that's the rumors I've been spreading all over the internet. So,
well, good job, Judo Gene LaBelle.
Well, Mike, you're still wearing your name tag, which is nice.
Yeah.
Take that away so they don't fire you for crazy shit you say in the air.
Yeah.
So what's been up? It's been a little bit. We did not do a podcast last week. Like anybody fucking missed it. Nobody tunes in.
Everybody missed it.
Did you guys miss it? Vote yes or no. Call into the hotline.
1-800.
American Idol 1. Idol 1. We were supposed to have a guest tonight, but they did not show up.
Who was going to be our guest tonight?
Well, it's not his fault. This is actually DeCarlo's fault.
Really?
Because Randall Neiman was supposed to be our guest. So I'm like, hey, tell Randall, can you call Randall, let him know what day he wants to be on the podcast?
Which one's Randall again?
He does he's got the music band Fuchsia. He is also host of Nerd Team 5000 podcast. What?
Yeah.
I don't know why. When you say 5,000, what? It seems like it goes together. Like Day 5,000. What?
All right. And, a shout out to our friend, Day 5000.
Apparently
not dead.
Has not
got released from the hospital like a week and a half ago after, dying 14 times during a fight.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was like the worst fight ever. Well, I mean, you've got two street fighters with limited skills in a ring together. And, nothing happened. It was so boring.
Yeah, it was a pretty shitty fight. I did actually watch it.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed.
Yes, well, you should have been.
I rewatched Gracie Shamrock again. Very disappointed.
Shamrock tested positive for Roy.
Yeah, I did see that in the news. Oh my God,
and
Ken Shamrock.
Or Kimbo Slice tested positive too. Or someone else tested positive.
Wow, Shamrock tested positive for Roy. The only reason he didn't test positive for roids before is because they didn't test for roids before.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. One look at Shamrock, you basically tell that guy is juiced to the gills.
Allegedly.
Most people over, 40 years old look like Ken Shamrock, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to look like. A 60-year-old man when I'm 40.
Yep. Damn sexy. So what the hell you been up to, Burgowski? Well, let me finish the reason why we don't have our fucking guest today.
Randall.
Okay, so I'm like, when is
Roland.
Randall coming onto the show? Yeah, and DeCarlo's like, well, did you call him? I'm like, no, he said he wanted to come on the show when we were at, what's that bar, US 12. I was like, but you may want to call him, let him know, see if we can get a date pinned down. She goes, yeah, he said next week. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, of course, this week, hey, can you call him? I haven't had a chance to. All right, definitely call him because we're doing it on Wednesday. Calls him today, and, of course, obviously he's not going to be able to do it today since we just called him today.
Yep.
Truth be told, DeCarlo pulled a Chris Nguyen and never actually called him the first time around. So it makes perfect sense why he wouldn't be here today because he was never instructed to be here today. So, again, we do not run a professional podcast here.
We're very professional. I'm looking up stories right now for us to talk about.
He's looking up stories right now. We do this on the air. We do it live. We're not cheating the viewers. There's nothing that is pre-planned here. Anything could happen. Jason Mayhem Miller jailed. Yep. Bail set at $1 million after...
Latest brush with the law.
Brush with the law. Well, Mike, why don't you inform us what this brush...
Okay.
Of the
Apparently,
law was.
God damn it. I guess he vandalized a tattoo shop, but I believe he's already out on probation.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got to be still.
I think there's more to it, that a lot of it is related to that as well, because I believe he has a DUI offense, a recent one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's on parole for his DUI offense, yep, which added. And, yeah, He just got out of prison for apparently assaulting an officer, and the guy is just nonstop.
Nonstop crazy shit. Somebody needs to put him on some fucking medication or some ayahuasca or something to figure his ass out. But my favorite one was that he vandalized a church, and then when the police came and found him in the church, he was naked, spraying a fire extinguisher everywhere. That's my favorite Mayhem Miller story.
Yeah. The man's got something bad happening to him.
Yeah, well, maybe he's just one of these people. If there's no drama present, he's just not happy. Maybe that's his key to happiness. Like Will Smith's pursuit of happiness, he just wanted to work for Goldman Sachs. Mayhem Miller, he just wants to be institutionalized. So it's very similar, but a little bit different.
Is what I'm seeing correct?
What?
Hold on a minute.
Uh-oh.
Let me check.
Breaking news.
Not at all. Not at all correct.
Not at all.
It said Anderson versus Shogun. I'm like, wait, Anderson Silva? Why did he go by his first name?
Right.
Seems like he's known mostly as Silva. But it turns out
Silva.
Corey Anderson. Which makes more sense, because Shogun and Silva are friends and not in the same weight class.
Well, they don't fight each other, right?
No.
They have like this unwritten rule that you're not going to fight people. What do you think about that? Are you for that or are you against that? If you're in the same gym, the same training camp, can you say, you know what, Mike's my friend, I'm not going to fight him on the card. FYI, if we did get paid to fight on a card, we would fight on a card.
Fucking fight on a
I
card.
don't give a shit what anybody's.
I'm not gonna lie, you'd have to move up to my weight class. I don't
yeah, I'm gonna be on a high dose of steroids, Burger King, and Taco Bell, and I'm not gonna work out anymore.
You're already physically stronger than me, despite the weight difference. So I think you probably just go just water weight.
Water weight?
Yeah.
Just put a hose down my throat and turn it on full throttle.
I want you walking out just like wobbling.
Like his organs are gonna burst the second he gets punched.
Yep, that's how things go sometimes.
Absolutely.
But what can you do?
There's nothing you can do.
There's a lot you can do, but yes, you're right. Yeah, but apparently he's going to. Okay, actually, I'm back and forth on that one. Kind of like I feel that as a professional, you really shouldn't have a problem fighting a friend. Because, I mean, it's a job. It's a professional sport. But some people, they bring a lot of emotion into their fights. And for people like that may not be a great option for them. Because, especially if it's, like an actual friend of yours, you hang out with him outside of work. Because after you kick his ass, you're probably, even if you guys are cool with each other, you're never going to go quite back to the same way you were. Because, even though you beat the crap out of each other all the time in the gym, at this point, you've essentially proven that you're a better fighter than him, which is already bad enough, but you've also hurt his career.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things. It's kind of like if it's just kind of like your training partner, you guys know each other really well. I really don't think there's any problem with it. Assuming you're both cool with it, there's no problem with it. But if it's one of those things that's like a good friend of yours and they're kind of a bitch, then probably not the best option. And
especially if they're a whiny bitch.
Interviews,
absolutely.
A lot of them are whiny bitches.
They're all complaining about something.
Yep. I mean, some of them are legitimate. A lot of them are not, though. I mean, a whole lot. I'm not getting enough respect. I mean, sure, they're paying me and they're putting me on the cards and everything, but I don't feel like they're promoting me enough.
Yeah, I know a couple fighters have a big problem with that. I know Rampage being one of them.
I was directly quoting him.
Oh, okay.
Well, not directly. I was paraphrasing him technically, but that was the idea he was getting across.
Yeah, definitely he was. And I'm not calling I don't know Rampage from anyone else, but
oh, I do.
I think everybody
go back.
You guys go back quite a ways.
Kimmy?
You guys went to school together.
It's true. Back in Tennessee or Mississippi or where the fuck he's from.
That was back when you guys were straight out of Compton.
Ah!
NWA.
Yep. I can't help it. I'm straight hood, yo.
NWA. What up? All right, so what the hell else has been new with you? Right. You personally,
me
Berkowski.
Personally.
What has personally been happening in your life? Let's talk about it. You're on the couch. Let's talk about it.
Okay. There's been, I guess, a couple of things. Nothing all that big. I finally got hired into that second job.
Oh, nice.
So if I ever want to pull extra hours, I got a good rate for it. So, it's nice.
Nice.
Like $50 an hour. So
sweet.
Yeah, feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, you should feel good about that.
Let's see. I finally bought a computer.
Okay. What have you been using so far if you haven't had a computer?
An iPad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not fucking around?
No.
Okay.
Like for a while now. Because I basically just gave my computer to my sister so she could use it for school.
Oh,
well, she's a teacher.
See, he does have a kind heart, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course. I am the nicest
person. Man.
Although, I'm not going to lie.
But he will hold all nice things he does to you over your head.
Oh, yeah, of course. Because fuck you. I'm not doing this for free.
Nor should you.
Yeah.
The Joker said if you're good at something, never do it for free. He said that in Batman.
I think the Joker's dad told him that, but yeah.
He definitely said that in Batman. After he put that guy's head or pencil through his eye.
Actually, I think he did. Didn't he do it before he put the pencil through the eye?
I'd have to go back and watch it again.
Let's go back and watch
100%.
it right now. Let's start this podcast and us just watching The Dark Knight.
I know I can do that. I can switch to screenshots and play things. I haven't fucked with it enough to do it yet, but
let's not worry about it.
I have done it before, but I just wanted to let you know we do have that capability.
Okay. We are an advanced
If we had a studio manager, we could do a lot more cool shit, but since it's just you and I, we have a studio manager who doesn't really do anything.
Carla or something?
Yeah, there's somebody that's named DeCarlo that just not really pulling the weight around that they should be.
Yeah, coming up with the stories for us and all. All right, well, I got a computer. I got a new desk for the computer. Just yesterday, I bought a chair from IKEA for the computer.
Nice. Where'd you get your desk?
I just got it off Amazon. It's pretty badass, though. You should go over and see it.
I got this motherfucker Office Depot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How
much? Like a sale. I want to say I paid like $300 for it or something.
Nice. I mean, this is built.
Yeah, but I fucked up the drawers. I didn't put them together the right way. They're actually not. They don't close properly. So I'm gonna have to.
Steckel.
I'm just too fucking lazy to take it apart and redo it. Like, if
exactly.
I can wedge it in, it looks good. And nobody comes back here anyway, so who really sees it? So if
they'd see that, weird, Jackson Pollock painting you're making underneath there.
Yeah, I jerk off most of the podcast. So while we're here, we're talking. I'm working the left.
A weird angle.
I'm working the right. And then
he's not gentle either.
Sometimes
he is not nice to it. Like I don't get it.
See, when I'm like this, it's like a speed bag. I'm working the balls like a speed bag.
That makes sense. I like when my balls hurt too.
Yeah, it adds a little bit. And like right before you're about to climax, if you just squeeze them, either A, you're not going to climax because it's going to hurt really bad, or it's going to feel fucking amazing. So I make that recommendation. Do try this at home.
When jerking off, crush your balls. See what happens.
Robert
That's
Schimmel.
our tip to you.
Robert Schimmel has a good joke about that. He's like
Had a good joke
about that. He's
as we covered in a previous podcast, he's dead and we miss him.
But yeah, one of the ways to control premature ejaculation, just as your significant other is about to come, grab his balls as hard as you can. And he said that shit's not gonna work. He's like, that's putting duct tape on your mouth when you're gonna puke. It's just gonna come out any fucking way. I gotta say, the grabbing the balls technique, though, in a harsh manner, which I have never tried, but in a firm manner, it actually increases the sensitivity quite a bit. I highly recommend it.
I'm sensitive enough to begin with.
All right, well then, it's not for everybody. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but
also,
to each their own.
I feel like that would hurt.
Yeah, well, it's like sitting on them. Like when it's hot out and you sit down, you're like, ah.
Yeah, I've done that before, and then it hurts for like a few days for me.
Yeah, luckily I haven't had it hurt that long because my testicular cancer is not that advanced. But
mine is.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is giant. I won't tell you which one, but it's definitely the right.
You know, I had a friend. I'm not going to name his name on here, but he's a very, very close friend of mine. And he had told me a story once that he woke up one morning and one of his testicles was like the size of a fucking softball. And of course, you think the worst. So he goes in, he gets it checked out. Apparently, they're like, oh, you know what? Nothing to worry about. It's some sort of an infection. I've never heard of that shit before. That would have freaked me the fuck out. I'd be having panic attacks all the way to the fucking hospital. And she told him, like, the doctor said, like, oh, it's nothing to worry about, but there's this fucking ball. So he was going to, like, nightclubs and stuff still, and he had to wear, like, a cup and, like, a bunch of, like, padding.
I think I've pieced together who this is.
I think you know exactly who this is. And you know what? You may be happy about it because this is someone who is, like, it's like a karma coming back on this person because of something he had done to you. So now, if you're not positive who it is, you should be.
Oh, yeah, and it was not at all who I thought it was. But now I know who it is.
And fuck
him. I hope it falls off.
So I think you're probably in the plus column.
Well, I didn't get to do it to him, but thank you, universe.
Yeah, you got spirits out there looking out for your ass.
Yep. I mean, it only took about 20 years, but you got the job done.
Yeah, well, let's rewind a little bit because that's a story we haven't actually told on the show before, and
yes,
I know you may not want it to be told on the show.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with it.
So we hung out with a certain individual, and
who shall rename an asshole? I said rename instead of rename.
I love this person.
Whatever.
He's like a brother to me, but Mike does not share the same. So anyways, when we were in high school, we were obsessed with going to a place called Far East Trader. And Far East Trader was a shop owned in the mall that sold nunchucks. They sold throwing knives.
Eastern shit, just like any other mall.
Shit,
you know,
blowguns, fucking you name it, they had it.
Shitty swords, shitty statues, shitty bokens, shitty everything.
Absolutely, but when you're in high school, that stuff is badass
so
shit. You can't mess with it. So we went there and we wanted to buy some throwing knives. So we got some throwing knives. We got, we were all ninja'd up. We had everything but the ninja uniforms and the Tabi boots.
So pretty much we're in normal clothes.
Yeah, we're normal clothes. We basically look like a bunch of idiots, which is pretty normal for us. Mm-hmm. Even to this day, we kind of go around like a bunch of idiots.
I'm wearing my work clothes. He's wearing God only knows what.
I'm wearing a shirt I got.
The same fatigues that we bought back in high school?
Yes.
Good God, you're still fit?
Well, mine were way too big back then.
And still too small for me.
And now they fit pretty good. I got to tighten them a little on the sides, but not too bad.
Fuck you. But go on.
But so we decided to go to Sports Authority, all three of us, and, fuck around with the punching bags.
Well, I think we picked him up halfway through. I think weren't we outside throwing him at the light pole?
Yeah, we were throwing him at a pole.
He kind of just showed up.
Yep, he showed up, rode his bike over there.
Yep.
And we were looking for something to do, so we went to Sports Authority.
Always a good time.
Always a good time. So we go into Sports Authority, we're looking around, and they have these big, these heavy weighted workout bars. They're not
They're just
not the kind you put
bars.
weights on. Yeah, and they had
rubberized.
So they're these weighted staffs basically. So we're kind of fighting each other with the staffs.
Just being
assholes. And then him and Mike square off, and they're about to they're about to staff fight. And instead, this guy.
No. Actually, you skipped a step.
Okay.
All right. Me and you were doing it.
Okay.
And he came behind me and hit me in the back of the knee with a staff. So then I turned around.
That was a cheap shot, as it was.
Yeah. Said, all right, come on. And what did he do?
Kicks you square in the pills.
He kicked me in the nuts.
Kicked you right in the pills.
Hard.
Straight up
mind
Bruce
you,
Lee move.
We weren't exactly friends. It's not like we were close.
Yeah, you guys were more of acquaintances.
Yes, and we were barely that. I only knew him as Tim's friend, who I obviously saw in school, but only really met a few times. So it wasn't like we were in a, You
guys weren't in a relationship.
Yeah. I mean, we're barely fucking. Occasional hand job, but
very occasional.
Nothing special. Not after that, though.
Not after that. No more reach arounds. No more blow jobs.
Nope.
No more hand jobs.
Not even the rim job.
Nothing. No more occasional strip poker games where he chases you around with his penis. But we can't all be so lucky.
Yeah, but ever since then, because I can hold a grudge. I fucking hate that guy. I want him to die. And I want him to know that I want him to die while he's dying.
Now that, my friends, is vengeance. That is a grudge.
Yeah. Overkill? Probably. But, I'm feeling okay about it.
But in Mike's mind, that is perfectly good.
Yeah.
So I'm not one to come down on anyone. I'm not one to say that that's wrong. You got to live your life. You got to live your life. You got to do what you got to do.
He forgot about it, that it ever happened. I still fume about it. So, we kind of went in different directions there.
If you have hate in your heart, let it grow.
Yeah.
Let it grow.
If you have hate in your heart, you're never truly alone.
Absolutely. You always have something with you.
Exactly.
And, worst comes to worst.
Replace God for me.
Yeah, and if you're cold and you're homeless, the hatred will actually keep you warm.
Mm-hmm. I say be hateful to all the people that have stuff. Maybe kill a couple of them. Whatever. Homeless people. Nobody cares.
He'll be in the next episode of Play Your Haters Ball on the Dave Chappelle Show. Hating, and hating.
I do hate the player and the game.
Game.
It makes sense.
Total sense. Sense.
Beyond that, I don't think anything's new with me.
Nothing is new.
Nothing I could think of off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of something. I feel like there is something, but I am not piecing it together right now.
Well, I think before we talked or after we talked, Conor McGregor lost his fight.
Okay, have we not talked since then?
No, we have not been on the radio since then.
I want some money on that.
Yeah, Mike finally won some fucking money around here.
I keep betting against Conor McGregor.
And he was able to receive the blessings that he had been putting out there for so long.
Conor McGregor finally got his ass kicked.
Admittedly, though, Diaz.
Nate Diaz. He pretty much beat the crap out of Nate Diaz in the first round. I mean, just knocked him around.
Yeah, bloodied him up pretty good. Opened up some pretty good cuts.
I was a little afraid.
Yeah, he had that eye cut that looked pretty nasty.
A couple of times, too. But in the second round, I mean, McGregor's not exactly known for his cardio. He started to fade. Diaz started to turn it on. Next thing you know, McGregor is going for some half-ass desperation shot. Almost gets caught in a guillotine, but rolls out of it pretty, adeptly. But then gets mounted very quickly by the much, much better grappler. And quickly sinks in a rear naked choke.
Yep.
Which in reality, I don't think he tried his hardest to fight.
No, he had kind of looked like he was giving up. He got rocked a few times.
Yeah.
And you could tell cardio was starting to fall off the edge.
Yep. It reminded me of pretty much the end of the McGregor-Chad Mendez fight. Yeah. Where one guy was looking real good and clearly winning, but then you just saw the life just go out of his eyes pretty much.
Yeah, and Nate Diaz, even in post-fight, he said that he was good. He was good to go the entire time. And he was saying that he after the first couple rounds, he knew that he had this fight. I don't know how truthful
after
that
the
is.
first round, only went 2.
Or yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, after that first round, he said that he knew he had the fight just because.
I don't know why he would think that. He really got beat up that first round.
He did, but he was claiming, and this may all be not true, but he was claiming that he was not really letting his hands go. He was just kind of like not trying. He was not. I don't know how true that is.
It seemed like every time he was letting his hands go, he was getting countered pretty hard.
He was.
I think, honest to God, I think the main reason he won is that freaking McGregor gassed.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, not too obviously very skilled. I mean, his boxing was on point. But I mean, simply every time he came in with any strikes, he was getting countered hard. And I mean, he was eating those leg kicks, which I think that McGregor probably should have done more of. I think he really went hard for that knockout and just punched himself out.
Yeah, well, they say, you go for the knockout, you're probably not going to win the decision.
Yeah.
Especially if you blow the whole load on that
and he
punch.
blew his load all over his face.
It was all over his face. Yep. It was all over the octagon.
Right. Well, let's talk about the other big upset of that night.
Yeah, Holly Holm.
Yep, got upset by Miesha Tate.
Holly Holm got choked out, too.
She got put to sleep.
Yeah, she didn't even tap.
Went to sleep. They hit the ground. She does like this weird shadow punching.
In her mind, she was still standing and engaged in a fight, and she goes for the straight blast.
I love the way my sister described it. It was like watching a puppy dream.
Yeah, it was very much like that, and I don't know why that choke was in deep, and there was nothing pretty about it.
Just so sure she could get out of it. But I'm telling you, she made that mistake in the second round as well, because those are the 2 rounds she really lost, the second and the fifth, where she just, I mean, the minute Miesha got her to the ground, she let Miesha take her back relatively easily. She had no answer for it, and she kept trying to get up without protecting her neck. And she almost got choked out multiple times in the second round. I mean, she barely survived the second round. And in the fifth round, it was the same exact thing. She learned nothing from those mistakes. The only difference is now she had gotten weaker, and Miesha Tate, luckily to her credit, really kind of just stayed with it. And she got in a lot tighter on that last one.
That last one she just jumped on her back. It wasn't like there was a setup or anything like that.
Oh, no.
She looked at her, she chased her down, and jumped on her back.
Yeah. I like, because she went around behind her, just dragged her to the ground, and then just wouldn't let her get up. And I mean, it wasn't even using any high-level technique. And he pushed her over to the fence. When he got to the fence, she started trying to stand up while, Miesha Tate basically had her back, and then Miesha easily sunk
that technique was created in assisted living homes when the elderly residents try to escape the assisted living home and the orderly jumps on their back. That's where they learned that technique from. That's
you got to keep old people in check. I've learned this.
That's actually taught by Sunrise Assisted Living.
They're a sick group.
Very, very sick bastards. So that was
overall, it was a solid fight. I didn't really think that was that entertaining of a fight.
No,
every round that Holly
really.
Holmes won was a pretty boring round.
Very boring.
But according to the scorecards, they gave every judge gave Miesha Tate a 10-8 in that second round, which was surprising to me. I think she deserved it, but usually judges are very apprehensive to give out a 10-8 round, so it was good that they did. And then in the fifth round, she was definitely going to win that, at least by 10-9, and that would have forced the fight to a draw. Because they all gave Holly Holmes the other 3 rounds. And turned into some sort of clown duck.
No, I looked at the corner of my eye, and it just looked really weird when my mouth would do that. Like a Pinocchio or something.
All right. Tim is apparently, instead of becoming a real boy, looking to become a wood one.
Yeah, and I think that if
I think mostly because he's in love with Geppetto.
Yeah, if some sort of wizard puts a curse on me, and I turn into like a puppet or a wooden boy, that's not really like a bad thing to me. For a lot of people, that would be like a down, but for me, it's like a parallel move, like it's a lateral move.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna be super upset about it. But if I get tired of it, if you could wish upon a star and get me back.
Don't worry, my heart is full of magic and wonder.
That's what I was hoping. One topic I did want to discuss on the show that's been driving me insane lately.
Yes.
And I've been getting people talking about it more and more, and the more I'm hearing about it, and I don't think we talked about it on the show. Do we talk about unschooling on the show?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it in person, though, at one point.
In person, I think we did.
I don't think we discussed on the show. We may have. I have no memory, and I'm dumb as hell. So
that's one topic that drives me fucking crazy. I had a client that came in and was talking to me about how her children, she has 7 children.
Oh, smart move to begin with.
Single woman, you know.
Yeah, she has trouble keeping her legs together.
Has troubles. And she was saying how, one, this is going to be 2 topics.
All right.
She is no longer for vaccinations. She's not vaccinating any of her children.
Well, of course not. She doesn't want them to get autism or be controlled by the government.
That was her thing. It was a government thing. Is what fucking
the
started the
thing.
whole thing.
Okay.
No, but she did mention the autism.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, she made me look at a meme on her phone of some doctor saying that causes autism or something. I'm like, this is just a doctor with writing
also,
next
it's a
to
meme.
it, and it's a meme. This is not a factual piece of data. Neither here nor there. That also spurs the conversation on her kids. She had taken them out of school, and her youngest kids are all going to be unschooled now. Now, I did not know what unschooling was. I was
you explained it to me.
I was ignorant to it. So for the people that are listening, what unschooling is, I thought that was homeschooling. It is
it's not that easy.
Homeschooling. No. Unschooling, you don't actually have any type of curriculum. You don't have any standards. You don't have anything that you have to report. The only thing you have to report is attendance, that your kids live in your house. That's the size of it. There is nothing that they're required to do. If they want to sleep and stare at the TV all day, you let them do that. They learn anything that they want to learn at their own pace. Brogowski, what the fuck do you think about this unschooling system?
Okay.
I have mixed reviews in my head. I'm not totally against.
When it comes to, let's say, being an all-around intelligent person, it's probably going to hurt them. There are certain skills they're not going to pick up. Nobody wants to learn math. Very few people want to learn history or be good at, with the English language. Learn how to write correctly. Have appropriate grammar.
Right.
But when it comes to possibly picking up something like a trade, becoming good at one thing, like if you're really into cars, becoming good with cars, if that's all you focus on, you're probably going to be better at it than, let's say, someone who likes cars but goes to school, full time.
Right.
You're definitely not getting a well-rounded education that way. I'll tell you that much. I mean, admittedly, I, like everyone else, have some problems with the American school system and the kind of curriculum that they use.
It's certainly not perfect,
and a lot of it doesn't make sense. I mean, just with some of the crap they have to do. I can say my sister's a teacher. Friend Al was going to be a teacher. I know several other teachers. They all have complaints.
Yeah,
but this seems, if done correctly, if someone really cares, if someone really puts in the effort, not being constrained by anyone else's views on how you should teach someone,
right,
could be an amazing thing. You could really achieve something greater than what you could in school.
Absolutely.
But the problem is, most people aren't like that.
No.
If there's any hint of laziness, this could be a very easy way to cop out, to just do the bare minimum and basically just schlub your way through it. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I'd be afraid of for really any kids. And that's how you get really, really dumb people walking around. I mean, just like aggressively stupid.
Yeah.
Like, not just stupid, but like so stupid they want to like press their stupidity against you. So it's like you can just feel the stupidity rubbing against your face, slapping you across, and just knocking out a tooth or something.
Yeah.
That's what you're producing.
What concerned me, and I'm not totally against unschooling, if you have a parent who can be there with you all day and lead you to learn on your own, kind of a thing, someone who's halfway intelligent. Unfortunately, this woman had terrible arguments for it. Like, she would be the last person you would want to be promoting unschooling, because this woman didn't know anything about anything I was talking about. Literally, like, she did not finish school herself. Like, she dropped out in high school, obviously, 7 kids. They were all very young. I think she was 14, she said, when she had her first child. So she was not able to finish the school. And just through conversation, I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that, but just through conversation, I could tell that her intellect was not very vast. Very common things that I would talk about and bring up, she wouldn't know what they were. Just very things that most normal people would know what you're talking about was like completely foreign to her. So that was kind of my one concern, because it was like, well, how are you gonna really direct these guys if you're a pretty intelligent individual and you have kids, you're able to make intelligent decisions and kind of say, okay, can this kid handle this type of a thing? Like if you've got a self-starting kid, he's motivated, he does go out and seek knowledge for himself, you're going to be cool with that. But if you notice, Johnny's not really, I don't know if this is really going to work for him because he doesn't really have anyone to push him to do it, and he's not listening to me. And he's kind of just using this time to just screw around and waste time, you're going to have a big problem, I would think. 2, it's not going to work on a mass scale. You can't take 350 Americans and say, no more school, everybody do what you want to do. You'll have a nation way dumber than we currently have it.
Not that, I feel like the people that want to do this want to do it because they want to control what their kids are learning. And generally, you only get 2 kinds of people that want to do that. Number 1, the obvious, very religious people.
Yeah.
They want to do it so they don't have to teach their kids science or evolution or, the any of that Big Bang Theory.
Right.
They want to teach them that God created man, dinosaurs are a trick played by scientists, and all that other bullshit. And the other side would be hippies, who really...
This chick was a hippie, for sure.
Who want to teach them, I think mostly... First of all, they probably
gardening.
Have very little, they have limited knowledge of science, most likely, as well. But they largely want to teach. I think they want to alter the history that they learn more than anything. They want to be very progressive in a lot of ways, and they want to pass down their exact knowledge base to their kids. Exactly what they know, but less of it.
Right.
Is what's going to get passed down to them, and that's what kind of scares me. At least with homeschooling, they give you a curriculum because. I got to say, if I tried to think about the battles of the Civil War, or even all that much information about the Civil War, I wouldn't remember it all that well. World War I mean, half time I got to look up to see who the key players were. I don't remember history all that well. Most people don't, unless, you're really into that.
Right.
So me trying to kind of teach kids history off the top of my head wouldn't go well. Even if I went out and got like, oh, hey, I went out and bought... I don't know, some book from Barnes & Noble about American history. Let's start reading it. At that point, you're pretty much just doing the same stuff that would have been done, through a normal curriculum.
Right.
Only much, much worse.
Right.
And I'm afraid that's largely what's happening with that kind of stuff, if there's no curriculum.
Right.
Like I said, especially, let's say if the parents are great artists and they want their kids to be artists and live a bohemian lifestyle or some bullshit, then, whatever. I mean, they're going to be kind of a drag on society, but, fuck it. It's okay.
That was my argument to her. My argument was, first of all, she let a few cards slip that she probably shouldn't have. So she made mention that she's like, I just can't be away from my kids. And that's when the nail kind of hit right in the center, and I was
Not about them, it's about her.
Absolutely. This has nothing to do with giving your kids an opportunity. This is an excuse that you don't have to break. You don't have to say goodbye. You don't have to send the kids away to school. You want to feel better. It's not about your kids. But my argument to her was, look, okay, you can do that. You can, do your unschooling thing. But what you're also doing is you're making a choice for your kids to be unschooled. So you're saying, okay, you don't really have a choice. You're going to be unschooled.
Kids never have a choice, though, so that's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal, but you're making the choice for less information.
Huge life choice. But, I mean, even in normal school, parents and politicians and everyone else always tries are always trying to do that. Can we get this removed from science textbooks? Can we get this removed from history textbooks?
Right.
Do we really have to mention what we did to the Indians?
Right.
Can't we all just have been friends? The trail of what?
The trail of fears, not tears. It was tears for fears was what they were listening to at a party on the trail.
It was a weird concert. I think the band actually named themselves after that because it was so cool and everyone enjoyed themselves.
But yeah, it's like, I guess though, and then also there comes in the socialization aspect.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. But them and homeschooling alike, I mean, you're not going to really pick up normal social skills. I mean, I only ever knew one homeschooled kid, and he was super fucking weird.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, nice guy, and in his credit, his parents pulled him out of there. Well, they pulled him out for religious reasons mostly. But they did a good job teaching him because he was very, very smart.
Yeah, and a lot of times, if you have a parent who wants to homeschool their kids, typically they're very motivated.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But in most cases, you would think if someone cares enough to go through the trouble of doing that.
And no, you're wrong. It's not a bad thing because a student can get one-on-one attention with someone who
Absolutely.
is very, very committed to their success, who cares about them more than
it's
care
their
about
parents.
themselves. Exactly.
You can't get any more caring about that.
Care that much about you.
Right.
So, I mean, in that sense, it is really good. But, yeah, I think the socialization is actually one of the things that would probably hurt them the most because I actually know some people that are homeschooling their kids at the moment. And that's, and they talk about, they take the kids to, after school activities or,
sure,
what would be after school activities like sports stuff or, groups or clubs or whatever. But it's like, oh, yeah, so he sees other kids and everything, but it's not the same. I mean, you form really tight relationships in school because you're going through this pretty terrible, shitty thing together. And you're around each other a lot, and you really get to know each other. I mean, when you go and play hockey or baseball or soccer with someone for an hour and a half, on the weekend, it's not the same thing.
No.
Usually you're doing stuff the whole time. You talk a little bit. Maybe you arrange some play dates or you go to a kid's birthday party because their parents forced you to invite them.
Right.
But, I mean, you're not getting that same experience.
It's a character builder.
It really is. I mean, it's a shitty character builder, but usually shitty things are what build character.
Right. Well, that's what I was just about to say. Character is typically built doing something you don't want to do, doing something that's miserable together with other people who equally find it miserable. And then when you're done, I'm not creating a real strong case for sending people to school here.
No, but I mean, it's shitty. You got to wake up extra early, usually with not that much sleep. Most kids do not get enough sleep. You learn stuff, half of which you'll forget, most of which you don't need to know. I mean, most of the stuff you learned in school are things that you'll may never use. But I believe to be having a well-rounded intelligence, you do need to know these things.
Yeah.
You need to know at least mid-level math skills. Not even basic. I'd say mid-level math skills. You need to have a basic idea of history if you want to make informed decisions about how you're going to shape your country, your society in the future. I mean, these are things I think you need.
I think you bring a good point. At the social part of it is actually, I would say, even more important than the information part of it. The information part is important too, because even if let's say you're an unschooled kid, okay, and you become very good at, will you say, fixing cars or something, there comes a point where if you're not well-rounded and you can fix cars like a whiz, but you get into a position where you're working with other people and everything else you're a moron, that a lot of people aren't going to work with you because they're going to say, you know what? He's an idiot, though. Like, yes, he can fix cars, but we just don't like him.
So, I mean, you'd be surprised how many jobs you get, how much you can move up in a business based more off how much people like you over how actually qualified or good you are at your job.
Right.
I can say it actually reminds me of something one of my teachers told me. It's when you go into an interview, don't worry about knowing all the information off the top of your head or anything like that. Just be relaxed, be yourself, try to get them to like you.
Right.
Because if they gave you an interview, They already think that you have the knowledge to do the job.
Right.
At this point, they're just going to see whether or not they actually like you.
Right.
Are you someone they're willing to spend 8 hours a day with 5 days a week for an indeterminate amount of time?
And if you're
if you're the weirdo that only knows how to do one thing and maybe has some really messed up views on some stuff because that's what you were taught growing up, then, I mean, what are you going to do? For instance, I went to the dentist recently, the other day. Got some stuff done, and the dentist had a dental assistant, nice young girl in her early to mid-20s. All right, perfectly fine. It was kind of hard to add stuff in my mouth, but I was talking to her.
She couldn't see what was going on below the belt in the chair?
Well, she kept telling me that she's a dentist. Please put that back in my pants. That has nothing to do with my teeth. And I said, well, clearly you don't see the marks. All right, well, we're getting back to the actual story. All right, somehow in the conversation, Trump came up. Turned out she's a big Trump supporter.
Okay.
Not a big deal. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Trump has a lot of good qualities. I personally, don't quite align with a lot of them. But, he has a lot of stuff going for him. And it's not uncommon for people to be, passionately for him. Like,
right.
Okay. And then she's also talking about how she doesn't really know anything about politics. So I'm telling her about a few things. It was because also she says that she supports either Trump or Bernie Sanders. She'll vote for one of them. And I like they're completely different parties. She's like, yeah, I go, and they're like the complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Very polar.
And then she says, no, they're not. I'm like, yes, they are.
Yeah.
One of them's a conservative Republican, big businessman, and the other guy is a very liberal Democrat, borderline socialist, who hates big business.
Which is strange because Trump was very democratic, actually, very much before this fucking.
Yeah. Well,
neither here nor there.
Okay,
but,
well, once I finish explaining this to you, I think you'll understand why he acts the way he acts.
I already think I know why he acts.
And also why when he's sitting with that rally, that Trump rally, that they were full of young people. I met one of the people that may have been there. All right, so I'm going to continue this little story.
Keep going.
So anyways, I explained to her about that. I'm like, I don't know a whole lot about politics either, which, I don't know all that much about it. I don't pay that much attention.
Yeah, we're not real political.
I don't enjoy it. I don't think my vote matters. I don't think any real... except for, as I pointed out once, I really like Cory Booker. But beyond him, I don't have a lot of faith in any politician.
No, me either. I don't think anybody does or should.
No, they really shouldn't. So, but she seemed pretty uppity about it. I'm like, all right. And it's funny because then when the dentist is working on me and she said some stuff about Trump and she likes him because he's funny. No. And it's funny because, he's a cool... I love my dentist. He's fucking amazing. Yeah, he's like, well, maybe you shouldn't pick your next president based on how funny you think he is. Because that's like the only thing she's really saying about him. She likes him because he's funny. Like, all right. Well, anyway, so then after they're finished, we're talking some more. And, because she's talking about, like, she'll vote for anyone except Hillary. She doesn't care who it is. If it's Cruz, because I explained to her the fact that, the RNC is trying to do something to where they're trying to prevent him from getting to hide the delegates he needs so that it goes to the convention and they can actually pick their own, primary winner, their own representative. So anyways, I'm explaining that to her. It's like, oh, okay, but, she just telling me that she'll vote for no one but Hillary. She'll vote for anyone but Hillary. I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever, because I saw, Cruz or, Kasich or anyone could technically be chosen under that, scenario. She's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just vote for anyone that isn't Hillary. I'm like, oh, okay. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people don't like Hillary. And she's done a lot of stuff to not be liked by people. So, not a big deal. And also, I don't give a shit. So, but then she starts saying some stuff. And she goes, well, we've been dealing with the worst president ever for the last,
ever?
5... well, it's been 8 years? Like, yes.
8 years, lady.
8 years.
2 terms.
That's exactly what I said. It just like the two. I'm like, yes, 8 years, 2 terms. So like, he is the worst president ever. I'm like, oh, and I mean, she get kind of animated
Clearly
about it.
She read that on the internet or someone else spewed that.
Yeah, okay, so I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, even if you don't like him, I mean, but the thing was that earlier we were talking, and she brought up all these, things that she liked that were enacted by Obama,
Right.
like the free birth control, which Republicans fought very hard against because they felt it would promote promiscuity, and she went on and on about how much she loved that earlier in our conversation,
Right.
very randomly, but whatever. And I was like, yeah, well, okay, so she's going on about how he's just the worst president ever, and I'm like, well, things could always be worse. She goes, it couldn't be worse. He's the worst ever, and I'm like, okay. And then I asked her a question that completely stumped her. I said, what has he done that's been all that bad? And she literally said this to me. She goes, well, I mean, I don't know anything that he's done, but he's just awful. And I'm like, well, why?
Just black and awful for Christ's sake.
Yeah, she was saying some stuff to me that made it sound a lot like she was trying not to say something racist about him at the time, and it's because then she was like, well, he wants to take all our guns, and I'm like, when did he try to take all our guns? Well, I mean. He wants to. I go, well, he'd never be able to. He goes, yeah, I know, but he would if he could.
Want to do things, but doesn't mean they're going to,
or
like, that they even are going to.
I'm like, well, when did he say he wanted to take everyone's guns? Because he, to my knowledge, has never stated he wants to take everyone's guns. I mean, he wants to act
he
some gun
enacted
control.
A few things that, that people got worried about, but it's not like anything that ever
like,
really
you
was
can't
to be
take
worried
a
about.
Bazooka into a children's hospital or something.
It's
I mean, he
things
doesn't. He hasn't enacted anything all that
Things that
big.
really hardcore gun people get upset about.
Yeah.
It's not really anything like normal people freak
it's
out
something
about.
that's if you have a diagnosis of schizophrenia, you gotta wait 2 days to buy a gun. You
can't have a gun. I'm sorry.
To make sure all of your personalities have calmed down by then. Minor things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, he's never tried to. Well, she's like, well, he wants to. I mean, if he could, he definitely would. I'm like, all right. And then she says to me, man, I was wishing we'd get like someone that was a politician who was like super hot. Man, I'd totally vote for him. I'm like, I feel like the weirdest look. I'm like,
I'll tell you what, that Queen of Jordan is pretty fucking hot. I don't know anybody. But if we get somebody like that, I would also be in favor.
Yeah,
if nothing more than just to see a pretty face on TV.
Well, then I was like, I mean, Paul Ryan's been on the cover of a bunch of fitness magazines. She goes, ooh, who's that? Like he's the head of the Republican Senate. He's the Speaker of the House, I believe, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
My politics game is weak, so.
Yeah, and I'm like, he's the governor of Wisconsin. She's like, oh, I got to look him up. And I'm like,
yeah, well, there's a ton of people on both sides of the coin that are.
But luckily for me, she's not going to vote. So, luckily for everyone in the world.
Everyone in the world.
She's not a voting type. So.
Yeah, I've noticed that seems to be a lot on both sides of the coin. You get a lot of people that don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I don't have a strong opinion about anyone, to be honest.
Me either.
I mean, honestly, even if Trump became president, I don't think it'd be that bad of a thing.
I don't think anything crazy is going to happen.
Is like kind of arrogantly insane, so that does annoy me on a personal level. But honestly, I don't think he'd be that.
It's entertaining
it's hilarious
to me.
But it's also frustrating because some of the stuff he states is not good stuff. Like I remember he even like shut down Fox and Friends at one point because he's like he's talking about how to deal with terrorists. He goes, terrorists. Well, we just gotta start killing their families. We gotta go find their families and start killing them. And you see everyone on like Fox and Friends like.
Kind of looking around, doing the
like, I'm not involved in this. Someone broke in and started talking.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly shouldn't be doing that. But I'm
just saying that that's just one example. I mean,
yeah,
he says some crazy shit.
He does say some crazy things, and yes, I did hear that one, and that was certainly definitely crazy. Do I agree that they probably should go after their family because there's probably more to the story that the families have. They're not maybe as innocent.
Kill the families.
No, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I'm saying.
Oh, you're talking about like on.
I'm talking about just a reasonable quotation. I think.
Oh, like bring him in, question him, that kind of shit.
You got to bring him in and question him.
Yeah.
You can't kill the family. Stuff. You can't do that. Like that's just crazy talk.
And a lot of them have, it's the Middle East. A lot of them have giant fucking families. I mean.
Yeah,
everybody's there could be 40, 50 people.
Everybody's a cousin.
Yeah. At that point, you might be able to start bombing the whole place.
Yeah, there's like a lot of things that are definitely wonky. He says some crazy shit that if he gets elected, There's going to be he's not going to be able to say crazy shit because he's going to have to
That's
like
the problem,
really
though.
tone it down.
I think he still will.
He probably will, but
and I'm wondering like how will that affect us with other countries? I mean,
but I think other countries I think no, and like nowadays is very different than like back in the day. Like a lot of people knew that when Bush wanted to go to war, and we went to the war, in Iraq. A lot of people knew that the people of the U.S. weren't really for that. Information was transparent enough. So I think we're going to get to a point eventually in society where the role of the president starts to become like less and less. And that's not going to be any time in our lifetime.
It's only become more and more.
Well, but it's becoming more and more, but I think as time progresses, as information becomes more accessible, that grip is only going to last for so long. And I say 100 years from now, you start looking, there's going to be a lot of things that are just done a little different. And we may end up living in a world in the probably the distant future, since change seems to come very slowly
around
here.
If I'm to believe any of the movies I've seen, we're going to be ruled by apes. So
that is true.
I say deal with that now.
It may come to a point where there is not as much of a need for a president, a need for a big overall kind of supreme leader of people, but it's going to require massive infrastructure change.
The problem is there's so much invested in the status quo.
Yeah,
that's
the
why
problem.
Nothing changes.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to change.
I think it has to sometime. And like I said, not in our lifetime, but many, many hundreds of years in the future, there's something will have to happen. We might get hit by a meteor. And everybody
Honestly,
gets wiped out.
I think it's going to be disease, but that's
you going disease?
Yeah, I'm going disease. That's how we're going to go. Not going to be nuclear attacks. True. It's not going to be meteors, not aliens.
Well, it's this lady who's also the unschooling is against vaccines. So
good. She can start a new sort of smallpox epidemic or something. I don't know.
Well, she made the point to me. Also, her main point to unschooling was, well, Einstein was an unschooler. Like, well, Einstein also had a 160 IQ, so a little different.
Well, Einstein probably had a much higher IQ than that, considering he never had an IQ test, or at least not like ones that we have today.
Right. But he was a fucking genius.
He was a genius.
You can't
and
compare
also,
that to your kids.
He went to school.
Yeah. He did go to school.
Yeah.
He dropped out of school. But I don't know that he was not an unschooler in the sense
he continued his
you're saying.
Learning. I mean, he didn't leave school because he's like, I mean, if he left school, back then I had to assume it'd probably be to get a job because they needed money.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, and also if he's a genius,
if you're a genius,
held back.
Yeah, you don't need school.
But I guarantee you, her 7 kids are not geniuses.
No.
If anything, they're all dumb as shit.
And they're all unvaccinated. And her argument to me, she goes, well, my kids have never been sick. And all these vaccinated kids are sick all the time. I go, well, that's true, but your kids also don't leave the house, ever. Like, you've told me straight up that they never leave the house.
And she's probably lying about the sick thing anyway.
People lie all the time because they want to be smarter, better. They have secret information you don't have. Their kids are better than yours. Yada, yada, yada. That's what it really boils down to is I'm smart. You don't know what you're talking about. I have the secrets. You don't. That's a lot of the idiotic talk that we get. But, yeah, she was going on and on about, and I'm like, well, they're not people. Kids get sick typically at school because they're in contact with many other people.
Yeah.
Your kids don't leave the house. I go, this is kind of like, Native Americans, fairly healthy until the Europeans came along. You kind of mix it up a little bit, and all of a sudden you're getting sick again. Like, if your argument is for isolation, then yeah, you got a point there. It's not the vaccines. That's when you started sending me shit about fucking memes with doctors and vaccines and autism and.
Yeah, I know that a lot of memes will have pictures and quotes on them that are not actually directly related to anything.
Nothing.
Yeah. Like, they have, like, Einstein on there with a quote, and it won't be a quote from Einstein at all.
Well, here's the new one that's bouncing. It's not new. It's been bouncing around a while. But the one of a soldier, and it's like, and the meme says, this is a picture of a soldier. I was going to make up some crazy shit that this soldier did or said to somebody, but it's actually just a soldier I downloaded off the internet and wanted to type some stuff next to him to see if it would incite or enrage anyone. Because
it
people
probably did.
Absolutely. Because people get insane. The things that are not even true, they're just one of these made-up memes, and people will get insanely vicious.
It's funny you mentioned that, and this reminded me of something else that a girl at the dentist said. She told me that one of the reasons she didn't like Obama was because he wasn't American. And she goes, I know he was born in America. He just, he doesn't, like, represent America. Like, I mean, she told me he went to the East Coast and apologized, like we have something to apologize for. I think she meant the Middle East or something, or possibly the east side of the world. But she had the East Coast, and probably like New York or something, Boston. I mean, who the hell was she apologizing to?
All you lobster fishermen out there.
We're sorry.
Yeah, clearly not someone who should be voting.
No.
But luckily, she probably won't.
No.
So that's not an issue. But I love watching. I love going on Facebook. I love looking at all the politically charged things. Like, I love how upset and enraged people get at all the political topics. And the thing of it is, you have to look back. And you got to look back in history, and you got to say, has anything really changed all that much? Like people get insane come election time, like screaming, veins popping out of the neck, insane. And I mean, shit happens. Things happen.
Things were bad. Then they got kind of chill for a little while. Then they got real bad again.
Yeah.
Well, although still not as bad as it was like back in the day, like the 1800s.
No, I mean, it's really, we got it pretty fucking good now. Like, comparatively, you look back and it's like, wow, there was some crazy shit going on.
One politician shot another politician?
I mean, like, people were getting fucking assassinated and shit, and there were, big plagues happening, and they were like, there's all this crazy stuff going on. And people, like, forget about these things. And there's always, like, the people that are like, oh, God, if, same thing with Obama.
If Trump wins, this country's going to end.
I'm moving out of the country.
Oh, yeah.
If Obama wins, I'm moving to Mexico. What the fuck are you talking about?
I got to say, even with the problems I have with this country, I can't think anywhere else I'd prefer living.
Exactly. There's like...
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I had to go live in another, like, England, Germany, I'd probably be
fine.
Wouldn't
be bad.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be bad. Any
nice.
first world country is not bad.
It would take, a little getting used to. It's a different culture. But overall, I think I'd do all right. Assuming we didn't have to go anywhere like first world or...
Yeah.
Something like that.
People oftentimes make inaccurate comparisons. And I think there's no perfect country out there. No. And I get so many people who, it's mostly, I'm kind of like a moderate, probably lean a little more conservative on
Whereas
side.
I'm kind of the opposite.
You're kind of the opposite.
A little bit liberal.
But there's all these people that are like, Canada. I'm like, yeah, Canada does have a lot of positive points. I agree with you. I was like, but Canada also only has 35 million people. I was like, we have 350 million people.
It's funny.
We can't do the same stuff. Like, we can't be Norway. Like, it's not going to work.
Because honestly, that's something like if I watch Bill Barr or anything, and he'll bring up a lot of this stuff like, well, the internet in, Switzerland is like, it's like, well, yeah, they're the size of one of our states,
right?
You try getting that across the all of Europe because that's about the size of America. I mean,
right?
We're fucking huge.
Yeah, we got a lot of people, and
and they're not centrally located. I mean, we're all over the place.
Yeah.
Whereas at least in Canada, they're relatively grouped up, and they got large, vast areas
of uninhabited space. Well, not uninhabited, but very low populated space. And they're able to do a lot of, cool things that, it would be sweet if we could do them here. But to set up a system to do that would be, you got to have everybody like on board with the game plan. And if you got people fighting it.
The problem is that it's like you're saying, you got to get everyone on board. If there's a couple people saying like, okay, the rest of you do this, but not us, the whole thing falls apart.
Absolutely.
There's some things you got to do that are kind of all or nothing. Like, everyone's got to get on board real quick with it. You know, when it came to changing the health system around, he made big changes, but relatively minor compared to what he wanted, and that was largely due to compromise.
Right.
And it's funny because the stuff that didn't quite work out, or the stuff he wasn't able to do, that was a compromise with, you know, the people that didn't want that. And not all Republican, a lot of Democrats, too, that did, you know, have financial stakes in how things were. Then turned around and kind of badmouthed him, like, well, this isn't working how you said it would. It's like, well, because you made it
only
a piece
half
of shit.
Working. Not even half working. It's only like, an eighth working. And people fail to realize, and the people, and it's always the people that go fucking insane, and the people who lose their shit about it, and it's an all or nothing thing, fail to realize how the system works. It's like, it would be great if you could just do it, and then everybody says, okay, that's the game plan, that's what we're going for, everybody behind it. But no, it doesn't work that way. No matter who's in presidency, whoever has the office, there's always a constant fucking thing. But that's also the good thing, because that's the check and balance thing.
Exactly. That's why if Trump or Obama or
whoever
is president, there is a limit to how much they can do.
They can't
Bush
go
kind
hog
of
wild.
Went
he went
a little hog
over.
wild, but that was due to some extraordinary circumstances. You know, the whole 9/11 thing and everything really kind of threw us all for a whirl.
Yeah, we didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Just kind of laid down and let it happen. You know?
Yeah, and I never thought Bush was an evil guy or that
no.
But there was all these people. They planned this in the U.S. They knew 9/11 was happening. They made it happen, or they let it happen. And
I'll say I think Bush was bad at his job, though. I really do.
Yeah, and a lot of people will say, Bush was terrible. A lot of people will say, Bush didn't have the support, or there was, or he was
manipulated, or
whatever. The other intelligence
people
agencies.
Have 1,000.
There's so much. The point is, there's so much that goes into being commander in chief, and so much shit going on. Like, it's almost one of those jobs. Like, it's impossible. Like, you just have to, if you're Obama, you just, at some point, you're probably like, what can I do?
Well, that's why, in his last few, I noticed in this last year, he's just kind of stopped trying to compromise. I love all the pictures they show of how much. Well, they do it for everyone. Anyone involved in the presidency.
Any in the office.
And not just the president. Everyone that's involved with the presidential office, they just age at an accelerated rate, and then they get younger again after they leave.
As you see,
it sucks the life out of them.
As they're progressing throughout the term, the face goes from happy to angry to at the very end, it's like.
Just give it up. And it just they get paler, they get thinner, they start looking like they have a mild cancer going on or something.
It's really what takes it home. And but you have to also think who wants that fucking job? You got to be kind of fucking nutty to want that job in the first place.
I have to assume it's just a power trip thing. Well, for some people. And I bet there are plenty of people that want to do it because they feel they can make the country a better place. They can help people out. There's some people that want it because they're like, I can use this to make a whole lot of money for me and my friends.
Yeah, once this shit is on lock, we've got the world by the testicles.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Everyone's got kind of a different, I think, reason for coming in there. I think most of them, at least I hope, have at least a relatively good reason. I mean, even if some of their choices or opinions aren't what we would believe or what someone else would believe, they believe that by doing that, they're making the world a better place, or the country a better place at least. And, even if we don't agree with it, at least they're coming from a good place. It can kind of be understood, and it's I always hope for. Which sometimes I don't believe that's all the case, but
that's bringing me to my last. That's bringing me home to my last point because we're a little over right now. But I swear to Christ and all other saints, I see one more fucking politician. I don't care who it is, if it's a Trump or Hillary or Obama, that says some stupid fucking 4 quotes, and then there's a Hitler picture that says 4 quotes. I'm fucking deleting your ass because it's the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life.
Hitler said a lot of things, and they weren't all bad.
It's come on, dude. There was one with Hillary Clinton that was I want this and this. I want this and this. Da 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 da.
And then I like
Hitler
cake.
One.
Hitler.
It's
I like pastries. I like a strudel.
Hillary Clinton is not fucking Hitler. Trump is not Hitler. Obama's not Hitler. Bush
No
ain't
one
fucking
is-
Hitler. No one's fucking Hitler,
Yeah,
dude.
no one is trying to exterminate the Jews anymore. Well,
yeah.
maybe
there's
there's
certainly
Israel
groups
or
that
something.
probably would be down with that, but the
Yeah,
president
probably a few.
is not fucking Hitler. We're not going to elect a Hitler here. And I can tell you, if we did elect a fucking Hitler,
Although no, it's hilarious.
this
'cause
country
Trump
would
did
go
say
fucking
something
bananas.
a while back. Oh God, he said something like, "There hasn't been like this kind of swelling of support for a politician since Germany in 1938 or something." He basically compared himself to Hitler, which honestly I thought was hilarious. I think other people probably took it the other way.
They probably took it the wrong way, and I think a lot of what he says needs to be reworded properly.
Yeah. Although I guess it's funny. I'm watching the Daily Show the other day, and they were talking about because he had made all these claims like about because they brought up stuff about like Trump steak, Trump airline, Trump water, and he made all these grandiose claims. Turned out they were all false. Like he doesn't own the vineyard. Steaks have been out. They sold none pretty much at Sharper Image. Like
I don't know who would buy a Trump steak.
And they only sold it at Sharper Image. And Sharper Image CEO said we sold literally almost none.
What, steaks?
Yeah, because he sold it exclusively through the Sharper Image,
which is very weird.
Yeah.
Like that's like a geeky tech thing. Like, why would
the
you
Trump
sell
Airlines
steaks?
went out of business. They made a great deal for it, but they actually foreclosed on it.
Yeah, I don't even know about any of
Yeah,
that.
Trump Magazine he basically just turned it into an ad for his resorts.
You know what I did?
And only goes to his resorts.
The Trump
water.
clothing stuff, though?
Yeah.
I bought a lot of that shit. I'm not going to lie.
Oh.
He's got some pretty badass clothes.
No one brought that up. I mean, obviously, don't bring up business of his that failed.
Yeah,
and
well,
once he claims like, oh no, they didn't fail. They're still going on.
I
They're
remember
still
the
great.
water back in the the
I guess they
Apprentice
most
time.
yeah
I
that's when he
something
I think
like
pulled it out.
was weird about that.
Yeah,
Like, that was a little bizarre. I remember us laughing about it when it was on TV.
A friend of mine that
what?
works for a certification company that tests things says they test Trump water.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they said it's just tap water.
Yeah,
they say
like I believe.
No. Like they said, it's not even purified. They said it's just tap water.
It's just tap.
Yeah.
Well, I think
and
that's
apparently
what,
it's only supplied to like Trump locations.
Well,
he supplies his own water. That's it.
Yeah, it's
the magazine only goes to Trump locations.
It's like one of those things. Like it's kind of like one of those perky like weird things. Like like MSU does that. Like like you like eat your MSU water. When I buy MSU water, I don't believe MSU water is of any kind of I assume it's out of the tap. Most bottled water I buy, I assume is just tap water, and I'm just paying for the receptacle in which to carry it around. Unless you can get some of those nice waters that I think are actually in fact.
Yeah, well, I look for something that says on it that's purified because I don't know. There's probably a loophole to where they can say purified. It's because stuff going through the tap's purified. That's why it's not full of the bacteria and disease and animal shit.
They did that really cool. I'm trying to remember what show it was on. I think it was on one of the Penn and Teller bullshit episode, which is I love those fucking shows. But they did a thing with the tap water, and they were like at a restaurant, and they were trying to sell people on the water. And it was very funny how they were talking with people, and they're, well, this bottle is from the the mountains of so and so, and then people would drink. You know what? I taste it. I was I was on a glacier. And the smell is the same. I'm getting the same. And at the end, they're like, well, actually, we just filled all these up from a hose out back.
No, it's funny.
And they show
the
bus guy in the back, like with the hose.
Yeah, they've done studies on that, specifically with reviews for movies and games, to where they will show people good reviews for something, bad reviews for something, different groups, and no reviews for something. And if you show people good reviews for something, they're going to have a higher opinion of it. You show bad reviews for something, they're going to have a lower opinion of it. And, they're going to think that's their own opinion. But they're showing that our opinions are very much sort of almost controlled by what we hear.
Yeah.
Or at least skewed by what we hear. And that's, I think, the way it is for a lot of things, including politics. If we hear someone's honest, we think they're honest. We hear they're dishonest, we think they're dishonest. Even if we don't have all the knowledge.
Like your dental assistant out there. Clearly, she just was regurgitating things that she heard from
probably
other
from her
people.
family, because I know she said that her family was big gun owners. I'm like, okay.
They're trying to take my guns. Damn it, lock them up.
yeah, she was really afraid of losing her guns.
Because
then only criminals would have guns. Like, and she started literally like saying catchphrases to me. I'm like, oh, good God. Don't get me wrong, I'd still sleep with her, but damn, I feel bad about it.
Have you heard the term swatting?
Nope.
Okay. I just learned about this the other day, so I've been laughing. Swatting is something that is becoming very big on with online gamers.
Okay.
So let's say you and I are playing Call of Duty against each other, and you're living in Michigan and I'm living in Florida, and you kill my guy. I'm going to get super fucking pissed at you. I'm able to hack something and find out your address.
Right.
I anonymously call the police department, and I say, hey, Mike Brogowski has his family hostage. He's got a gun to his mom's head. Hurry, help, help.
Oh, I have heard of that. Okay.
SWAT then comes, kicks your fucking door down, basically takes you, not takes you into custody, but,
No, they will take you into custody because they got to figure stuff out.
And, yeah.
Released,
but this is, and of course, it is all live streaming on your webcam. So everyone who's watching you is watching you get
definitely not common. It has been going on
No,
for a little
it's not
bit.
common.
Yeah.
But it was the first I had ever heard of it. And I
didn't know the name.
I was like,
what
the fuck?
Yeah, that's sick. And also, if you get caught, super illegal.
Well,
but oftentimes it's people from other countries that'll do it. So, I mean, they don't really have any recourse.
And that's what, Jeremy, a mutual friend of ours, I had made a post about that, and he had made a comment saying that there was a case where somebody got caught, swatting someone else, and they had to end up doing like some really serious time.
Well, of course, it's illegal to file a false police report.
Yeah, well, and the fact that if, one of these cops could blow one of these guys away, especially if they're not, thinking anything's going on, and they think someone's breaking into their home.
Situation or something.
Yeah, and, saying it's a hostage situation, and if you're, like, not doing anything illegal, and someone kicks your front door down, you don't know what the fuck's going on, you got a gun in the house, you may draw down on them, like, there's so many things that could happen.
Yeah, hell, maybe you're cooking something, you have a knife in your hand, they misinterpret it.
Yeah, I mean, people get killed, and I don't know if anyone's been killed from the prank.
I haven't heard of it, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened, because it's not like
that,
attention.
like, man, you gotta have some fucking cojones to pull some crazy shit like that. But
yeah,
I thought I would share that because I thought that to be incredibly interesting and kind of like a little bit funny, but I mean,
no, it is funny. It is funny.
I mean,
it's sick, but it's funny.
Highly fucking illegal, and if you do it, you probably should go to jail because
I would
you
assume.
could very easily get somebody fucking killed.
At the very least, you're fucking up someone's day.
Well, and you're fucking wasting, the police's resources. I mean, there's shit they could be doing, or there could be other calls happening, and you're wasting their fucking time on some fucking Call of Duty.
That's why it's illegal.
Clash of Clans bullshit. So,
fucking Clash of Clans.
Anyways, we're fucking 20 minutes over,
shit.
but
all right,
it is what it is. Mike, roll it out.
Good night, and good luck.
Night and good luck, you crazy bastard.
I am Batman.